And now, the 5 o'clock report with Maria Downey.
We're just on our way back from our first tsunami warning here in Kobe. There was an earthquake issued in Kodiak, Alaska, 8.1, 8.2. We were issued a tsunami warning here in Kobe.
From Kodiak to Kobe, along with other coastal communities, Alaskans across the state shaken up. This was video sent in by one of our viewers, Jennifer Merkuliev of Kobe, showing a row of cars making their way back to town after they were told to evacuate. The witness says right after the warnings were sent out, an airport manager literally plowed the way, clearing the evacuation route. Good evening, everyone. Many Alaskans woke in the middle of the night to a long, rumbling earthquake. Others also woke to tsunami alerts that warned them to move to higher ground. It was a long night for many in Kodiak and other coastal communities, and today, police and residents on Kodiak Island say they weathered the storm seemingly without a scratch. Reporter Kyle Hopkins joins us now from this island community. Kyle.
Yeah, Maria, well, a 7.9 magnitude earthquake is going to get anyone's attention. And even when it's 180 miles away from Kodiak, as this one was, an advisory went out. It told people that if they were staying in low-lying areas just like this one, that they needed to get uphill. They needed to get to higher ground. And that's exactly what happened. And those folks were relieved to find out a few hours later that those big waves from the big quake never really came.
It was super long. It was stronger, you know, and I've lived in Kodiak since 1999. I felt a few earthquakes. This was definitely more intense than any of the other ones I've ever felt.
Fortunately, nothing, nobody got hurt. The waves didn't hit.
So, Kyle, from the multiple Facebook posts that we saw and messages we got, it appears that everything went fairly smoothly during the evacuation. What are you hearing?
Right, that's what people in Kodiak are saying. I think there's a sense of relief. I think people feel like even though the roads were crowded, even though there's this sense of urgency to get to someplace safe, that was done in kind of an orderly fashion, and that there were no real mishaps, no car accidents, no acts of road rage. Everyone kind of was urgent but patient and fairly respectful. That's what we're hearing.
So we're also hearing across the state very minor damage, maybe some items falling off the shelves. What are you hearing from folks in Kodiak?
Well, despite the size of that earthquake, that's not really something that folks in Kodiak are talking about. They didn't wake up to find, their picture frames on the floor, that kind of thing. There were maybe some new cracks in the old fire hall. Maybe those are new, maybe they aren't, but pretty minimal damage is being described, at least so far. If there's major damage, it hasn't really been discovered yet.
Well, very good. Good news across the state, Kyle. We're so glad that all the Alaskans are okay after such a scare. Thank you so much. Kyle Hopkins reporting from Kodiak. And, of course, Anchorage felt the big jolt as well. But as Channel 2's Jack Carney explains, at least for Anchorage, the damage and concerns from the midnight quake wasn't as bad here as it was for many other Alaskan communities, those which had to deal with the aftermath, those tsunami warnings. Jack.
Anchorage Emergency Management Manager Andrew Price said that if you're a local like he is, while it is considered a big quake, it wasn't quite as alarming. And many of us woke up to the bed shaking a bit about 12:30 this morning, but overall there wasn't much, if any, damage done to the city of Anchorage as a whole, according to Price.